Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Kassia. On this channel, we discuss all aspects of the ascension process, and today we're going to be talking about the full moon in Leo. This full moon is occurring on and around February 5th, 2023, depending on where you are located in the world. And this is a really big, beautiful energy that we are stepping into. This full moon is occurring on the tail end of the 2-2 portal, still within the 2-2 gateway. And those of you who haven't checked out the 2-2 portal video yet, I absolutely recommend that you do. We talk about how we have a gateway of this energy opening this first week of February, as well as the third week of February, where we hit that second wave with the 220 through the 223. So this full moon in Leo really activating more of those energies, opening us up to receive more of those energies. Whenever we have a full moon in Leo, there's a big heart opening energy that we're working with. Also happening just a couple days after the green comet passed through the earth. And we didn't talk about this in the 2-2 portal video. I'm not always up on everything that's going on. I totally spaced that was happening. But that was a really big deal because the last time the green comet passed by the earth was at the very beginning of the Ice Age. So this is like, it does not happen. It's not going to happen again in our lifetime. Very rare. And it initiated a whole new cycle on the planet when it did pass by. So this is, or can be seen as, a brand new initiating of a new cycle. And as I was getting ready to film this video, I kept wanting to call this a new moon. So I think that energy of initiation, of creation, of manifestation, of new beginnings is going to be felt really powerfully during this full moon. We're going to talk a little bit more about the energies of this full moon as I shuffle my cards. And I'm actually seeing, I meant to hook up my charger to the laptop and I totally forgot. So I'm going to do that real quick so we don't die. Oh. Actually, I did hook it up. Is it working? Yeah, it is. It is charging. I hooked it up on the opposite side that I usually do. So, it's going. I just didn't notice. So never mind. We're good with that. We're going to get into the cards here as we continue to talk about these energies. Clear. So, the interesting things to note about this full moon, which is occurring at 16 degrees of Leo, I do believe. Yes, 16 degrees of Leo, is that the sun and the moon are in a T-square with Uranus and Taurus. So there is an energy here that is asking us to step outside of our comfort zone. We have this incredibly expressive energy with Leo. Remember, Leo rules the 5th house. The 5th house is the house that represents our creativity. It represents children. It represents pleasure, hobbies, activities. It is, as I like to say, the house of everything that makes life worth living. And so we're working with all of that beautiful dynamic energy, the energy of expression. Leo is very much a sign that is about the development of the ego. And the ego not always being a bad thing, right? In this life experience that we're having, it's pretty essential to have an ego. As we continue to ascend and evolve into higher states of consciousness and become more of a collective entity or energy, if you will, the energy of the ego is going to fade. But in this reality construct, it's pretty important to have an ego, to have a sense of self. What we learn as we begin to evolve spiritually is how to allow that sense of self to be fluid and to not become attached to it. Understanding that we are so much more and so much greater than what we perceive and believe ourselves to be. Right? But Leo is about the development of the ego, the development and the expression of the self. With Uranus active here, I'm feeling the energy of freedom very much. Uranus can also represent an energy of rebellion. So we may be feeling particularly rebellious during this full moon. There's a tension with the squaring aspect. And because Uranus is squaring both the sun and the moon, this is what we call a T-square, which is especially tense. And so the energies of the sun and the moon, which are, of course, the sun in Aquarius and the moon in Leo, wanting to balance each other out, they're going to balance each other out through calling upon the energies of Uranus. And if we understand the axis of Aquarius and Leo, we understand a little bit of this energy. The energy of Leo wants to connect. It wants to love and be loved. It does, yes, sometimes require and desire validation. The energy of Aquarius tends to be a bit more aloof. It is an energy that is very much unconcerned with what other people think of them and more concerned with what they think of themselves. There's a deep energy of authenticity. Leo desires authenticity as well, an authentic expression, but sometimes gets caught up when it comes to the energy of playing to the crowd or wanting to be loved and accepted. So we have that juxtaposition. We have the energy of Leo, which is very much the energy of the leader, of the monarch, the king, the queen, right? The lion. And then we have Aquarius, which is more of the, when we're looking at these larger collective themes, is more of the energy of the collective, right? It's more of a democratic energy as opposed to the energy of a monarch or one ruler making decisions for the people. And so there's some interesting energies that are a bit juxtaposing. There's actually a lot that I feel the Leo Aquarius axis, much like the Gemini Sagittarius axis, I feel like the energies have more in common than they have different. So I feel them getting along a lot more. Although if you put an Aquarius and a Leo together in a room, they may not get along so well, depending on how, like, what's the word I'm looking for here? How pure that energy is within that person, right? Because they both want to be in charge. They both are very headstrong. They both know, right? We're looking at fixed air and fixed fire. They both know what they want. And they're not necessarily always compromising. They also think they know what's best for themselves and for everyone else, right? So they may not get along, but the reason they don't get along in this hypothetical situation we're talking about here is because they are so similar. All right, so I don't feel a lot of fighting against each other, or struggling, I don't want to say fighting, struggling against each other, so much as struggling where it is in our lives that we are lacking that sense of freedom. Because Uranus wants us to be free. So during this full moon, we may be coming up against any areas in our lives where we feel like our freedom is being impinged upon, especially when it comes to our freedom of expression and our freedom to be ourselves. And we may see this playing out in a larger context when it comes to more worldly matters. And that's where we're looking at that freedom of, like, we're talking about, like the king versus the democracy, right? Who are the rulers in our world? Do we feel that the choices and decisions they're making are allowing us to be free? And of course, we know the answer to that, right? This is why we are being very Uranian as we move into this age of Aquarius. Remember, Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, and we are beginning the process of dismantling the systems that do in fact impinge upon our freedom, while many times attempting to convince us that they allow us to be more free. It's like seeing through some of the illusions of that. So we may be coming up against these larger systems, or feeling the tension between us and these larger systems. We may see that playing out, or whatever systems in our everyday lives we feel may be repressing us. And this is also the energies within ourselves, and where it is that we are perhaps sacrificing our freedom in order to experience comfort. Remember, Uranus and Taurus very much enjoys stability and comfort. So that desire to be free is going to be strong. Those tension points may come to the surface for people. But overall, this is a beautiful, heart-opening, expressive energy. We have Mars in a mystic triangle with the Sun and Jupiter. So there's a lot of, our actions are blessed during this time. If we take those inspired actions that resonate with our heart, remember, Leo is all about the heart energy. It's really taking us into those deep desires within the heart. If we make choices and actions and decisions that resonate with the heart, and there may be some energy with taking a risk, right? Taking a leap of faith. Those choices and decisions are blessed. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're all going to work out really well, but it does mean that there's a lot of positive energy and momentum behind them. The other challenging aspect that we do have during this full moon is a conjunction between Juno and Chiron. And Juno has been doing some interesting stuff over the past few weeks. At the end of January, Juno was conjunct Jupiter. And so there was a huge energy here of opening up and activating new soul contracts, new partnerships, bringing those relationships online, or beginning to call in the energy of them. There's an energy here of our belief systems around relationships really coming into focus so that we can see those and understand those in order to move forward and have more harmonious partnerships in the future. And that was just a really lucky period of time, if you will. I kind of don't like using the word lucky, but we're gonna use it in this context. Around, like, there was beneficial energy. We might have been feeling more optimistic about our current partnerships if we were in them. We might have felt more able to connect and be open and seeing the ways that we could create more expansion in our relationships. And Juno represents mostly its marriage and romantic partnerships. So that's the energy that we're really digging into when we're working with the energy of Juno. So going through this activation with Jupiter and now coming into conjunction with Chiron, all in the sign of Aries, of course. And this energy with Chiron is the wounded healer. So some of our deepest wounds around relationships are coming to the surface so that they can be exposed and healed. And a lot of these may have to do with Aries themes. So we're looking at independence. Are we able to feel a sense of independence? And what is independence? It is freedom, right? In our relationships, are we able to be ourselves? Do we have the courage and the confidence to go after who and what we desire when it comes to partnership? Are we able to, where do we fall as far as it comes to taking the charge? Or I guess I want to say, like, wearing the pants in the relationship. Do we wear the pants? Does the other person? Have we found a way to share the pants? Because that's really what it's about, right? It's not one person being in charge all the time. That's where that Libra energy balances out the Aries, right? And we come into partnership where there's harmony and things are on an even keel. So, like, where do we fall and where have we had issues when it comes to that? Any of these issues and more. Maybe some of the wounds coming to the surface. Do we lose our sense of self in relationships, or are we able to maintain that? All of these themes, and like we said, more, they're going to be more specific depending on who you are. But all of these wounds coming to the surface, all of these energies being cleared and purged. And I feel like with this full moon, really elevated. Like wherever any of these wounds still reside within us, this full moon is giving us a chance to take our expression of relationships to a higher level. And it's really assisting us in clearing out anything we need to clear out so that we can move forward into these new partnerships and soul contracts. So the first two cards that we had out here were the Two of Swords. All right, so this is a crossroads energy here. And the King of Pentacles. So for some people, this is going to be really face value, right? There's a choice or a decision about an earth sign or a person who carries heavy earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but it doesn't have to be that sign. And I'm feeling where this is an actual person. For some people, this isn't just going to be love. This could also be like a boss or somebody, a financial backer, something like that. Somebody who wants to come in and offer something or has offered something to you. And if, say, you have a business and this is a financial backer, part of the reason that if you have not accepted this offer yet, part of the reason you're hesitating could be because you want to know, and this is where that Aries energy comes in, right? You want to know what are the strings that are attached to that. It's like if they're wanting to back a creative project, are you then going to think that you have control over how this project develops, right? Like, what kind of say do you want? If this is a partnership, is this going to be a silent partnership, or are you going to try to take control, to take the reins of this? Or it could be somebody who provides financial stability in your life, but they do it at a price or a cost, and it's kind of like they want to control you in some way. That's for some people an energy of this person here For some people, this is about you taking control of your own finances. Tell me some more here. Learning to become your own King of Pentacles. We have the Death card. All right, this feels like an ending. Tell me some more. So for people who are in a situation, like this is the energy of what is where we talked about needing to be free and coming up at odds against anything that is preventing us from being free. For some people, it is a person who who thinks that they have the right to control you because they provide something for you in the physical realm. For other people, this is actually, like we said, a boss or a job. And it's preventing you from experiencing the kind of freedom that you want in your life. Whether it's you have to work really long hours, say you're like trying to make partner in like a corporation or something. I guess that was like I think partners are mostly like a lawyer thing, right? So somebody could be a lawyer who's watching this, and we need more lawyers who are spiritually open and aware. So kudos to you for bringing light into that arena, and perhaps if that is what's going on with you, you're considering a change in like the type of cases that you take on or the type of people you represent, which is interesting. Like you want to go in a different route, perhaps a route that will affect how much money you make. Either you'll make more or you'll make less. I feel for some people it's like you may make less money, but you're going to feel better about what you do. Like you're really going to be able to make more of a difference. Somebody, it may be like domestic, like you might be like a lawyer for people, like domestic stuff, like children, custody, stuff like that. There could be custody battles in general here that I'm picking up on with this King of Pentacles energy. Like leaving a marriage or a situation or a partnership where there are children involved, and perhaps having to deal with custody issues. Or perhaps they still help provide some financial stability for you, but it's coming at a price that you don't want to pay anymore. There's a lot of different scenarios that I'm picking up on here. And some people, this is just a career or a job change in general. Not specific to being a lawyer, but just in general. Considering ending one phase and moving into another. And we got the Two of Pentacles that came out here too. So there's a lot of this energy of juggling, this energy of choices, weighing the options. Tell me some more. Anything else here? Oh, we got the Tower and the Eight of Swords. Yeah, so this is going to be a powerful full moon for some people. And with Uranus active, there is an energy of uncertainty. We don't really know what's going to happen. It's very much an expect the unexpected kind of an energy here. But remember, this full moon being in Leo is ruled by the sun. And so that energy of the sun, the consciousness, the self, the ego, the understanding of the self, really under construction, I feel like, for a lot of people. The way that you see yourself, for some of you, like this full moon, something that's going to come up for you is like learning to see yourself as more abundant, as more empowered, as more in control. Like the King of Pentacles in that scenario has like an emperor kind of a vibe to him. Tell me more about the Tower and this Eight of Swords here. Ooh, Seven of Swords, Ten of Swords. All right, so a lot of swords energy, a lot of mental energy coming out here. So this Tower, this is bringing about an ending, right? We already saw the ending with the Death card. This is like really reinforcing that energy of an ending. An ending, the Ten of Swords represents a painful cycle, right? And with the Seven and the Eight of Swords here, there's a lot of mental turmoil and anguish here. There's a lot of like not seeing things clearly, or feel it's like somebody who's felt trapped. Somebody who's felt trapped, and somebody's been deceiving and lying to you. And you may have been even deceiving and lying to yourself. For some people, it's like if this is a relationship like we were talking about, you've been getting gaslit by this person for a really long time. And you don't even know what the truth is anymore. It's kind of what this feels like. But there's some sort of completion to that energy if you've been if that energy resonates with you. There's some sort of it's like you're moving out of that energy. You're moving away from that energy of not knowing, that energy of feeling confused, not sure if you can even trust yourself and your own perception of a situation because you've been lied to for so long. Or in denial. Some people, it's been a heavy sense of denial. You've been in denial about your situation. Whether this is a relationship, a job, whatever the case may be. And now it's like something happens that allows you to see the light and finally end and close out this cycle. Ace of Swords, yeah, clarity. Mental clarity. This could be an outer or an inner event that transpires during this full moon that gives you the clarity you need to see the situation for what it is. And part of what you're seeing is your own power. Where you felt powerless, you're now seeing that you have all the power. You get to decide, am I going to participate in this or am I not? Is this what I want my life to be, or do I want something different? Something better? Do I deserve something better? And it's like you finally realize, yes, I do. Okay, this is what's going on here. This is what's always been going on here. It's not going to change. I have to make the change. And you're using this sword. This sword always reminds me of Archangel Michael, right? And I think about cutting cords, right? And you see the crown on the top of this. The crown. It's like you are finally realizing that you wear the crown. For some of you guys, it's like you put somebody up on a pedestal who wasn't what they seemed. Somebody or something. And you allowed them to be the person that made the decisions. You gave them too much power over your mind, your emotions, your heart, your time, whatever it was, and you're taking that power back. You're taking your crown back. Anything else on this here? Seven of Cups. This feels like lots of options, lots of choices, perhaps being overwhelmed. Yeah, Nine of Swords, overwhelmed by choice. So I feel like for some of you guys, this is a situation that you've been really struggling with for quite some time. And it's almost like all the possibilities of like making a move. What am I going to do? There are so many different possibilities and so many things. So many choices that need to be made. For some of you guys, it's like none of them seemed like good ones, right? It was like the lesser evil kind of a choice is what it felt like to you. And for some of you guys, it was just like so many decisions that needed to be made in order to do what you needed to do. It was like too much, too overwhelming. And so it was like, you did nothing because you didn't know what to do. You didn't know. It was like you were standing in a hallway with 10,000 doors and you didn't know which door you were supposed to open. But now you're finally getting the clarity that shows you where it is that you need to go or what you need to do. Or in some cases, just forces you to make the decision that you've been holding off on making. So we have the Star coming out with the World, and the World was inverted here. And I think what this speaks to is this was you being afraid or unable to end the cycle, right? But now there's this opportunity for renewal. There's this opportunity for healing. Star represents Aquarius energy, right? So we have that energy coming out. There's an opportunity for healing. almost said if you want to take it, but I don't think you, a lot of you guys, I feel like you don't have a choice. Whether this is an outer event that forces you into action, or whether this is like a realization so profound that you cannot ignore it. It has a very judgment card kind of an energy to it. 8 of Cups, yeah, walking away. And that's where you find your healing, is in the walking away. Queen of Pentacles. Right? That's how you become the queen, the king. How you take back your crown. That's beautiful. We got the King of Wands in the bottom of the deck. That's that Leo fire energy here. We're not going to go down that road though. What we are going to do is pull some Moonology cards. I'm feeling like I want to pull those for this. We haven't pulled the original Moonology deck in a while. So let's get a few Moonology cards on this clear. Full moon in Leo as well. So a lot of powerful choices and decisions during this full moon. And with Chiron conjunct Juno there, it definitely makes sense that a lot is happening within our romantic partnerships, relationships. Like I said, for some people that could have been related to career, job. Take it how it resonates, if it resonates. All right, tell me some more about this full moon in Leo. Or just any kind of awakening that finally allows you to move forward and leave behind that which isn't serving you anymore. All right, so we have full moon in Aquarius. Show the world the real you coming out. Step into your truth. Step into your authenticity. Believe in the impossible on the bottom of the deck, blue moon. And then what fell out there for those of you who are going to be curious. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. Full moon in Pisces. So we got this Aquarius energy coming through strongly. The importance, that's the Uranian energy, right? The importance of being able to be who you truly are. That energy of freedom again. That energy of authenticity. It's like too many of us have been hiding aspects of who we are for far too long, and it's time to put it out there. All right? When you show the world who you truly are, you attract who and what is meant for you. All right, that's how you step into. Well, I was talking with a friend of mine yesterday about the soul song. You know how we talk about the soul song a lot on here? The energy of when we step into our true vibration by speaking our truth, living our truth, being our authentic selves, that emits a song, an energy, a frequency out into the world that attracts everything and everyone that's meant for us, right? So that's what this moon is calling us to do. And we have full moon in Leo. Don't let pride get in your way. So we got Leo, Aquarius, this axis we're working with very strongly. And if you guys want to learn more about the axes and how they balance each other, I do have a course that I did for Synchronicity University, and it is available for purchase. The details are in the description box below. We go through all the 6 axes of the Zodiac. So this is the energy, and I feel for some people, it's like, if you've been in a situation for some time, it's almost like your pride or your ego wouldn't let you get out of it because it meant that you had to admit to people what was actually going on. And you didn't want people to know. There was an energy of shame there, or an energy of needing to put on a good face, right? Keep up a good front. And it's like, in order for you to get out of the situation, you're going to have to humble yourself a little bit and be honest with people about what's really going on so that you can get the help that you need. You're going to have to, like, this for all of us is about speaking our truth. And getting vulnerable enough to do that. Knowing that when we come out of the closet, so to speak, as who and what we really are, There are going to be people that are disappointed. There are going to be people whose opinions of us are going to shift. But those are people we don't need in our corner anyway. Because if they can't be in your corner for the real you, when you are living in your truth, then they were never really in your corner at all. If this is a deep conversation you need to have with someone, the guidance here is to be completely open, vulnerable, and honest with them. If you've been hiding some truth about what you think, what you feel, what you need, this moon is urging you to share that. Full moon in Virgo, you are good enough. All right? Self-worth, self-love, that's what that card is all about. You are worthy, you are deserving. And this is one of the ways that Leo energy gets misunderstood. Right? Leo energy, a lot of people characterize it as egocentric, self-centered, all of that kind of an energy, right? Like too much confidence, like that bravado, that false sense of confidence that gets, there's a word for it. I can't think of what that word is now, but you know, when it's really in your face, right? It's overblown. But the reason that they overcompensate sometimes with that energy is because there is this energy deep within of feeling uncertain, of feeling unconfident, of feeling unloved or unlovable, of wanting so much to be loved that they put up the front like they don't care, right? Or they put up the front like they are 100% full of themselves when really inside there's like a deep level of insecurity. And I'm sorry for calling you out, Leos. I love you guys very much. I have some very near and dear people in my life that are Leos. My son's a Leo rising. But it's good to understand these things, right? When it's that, and anybody, right? This isn't specific to Leos. A lot of people overcompensate for a lack of confidence by putting out that front, right? And so this is like, let the mask down. Drop the front, drop the act, drop the mask. All right? Be real, be raw, be authentic. That's actually, it's like putting on a show is how you thought that you would get what you needed, but it's actually by being real and raw and honest that your needs will ultimately be met. The end of a tough cycle approaches full moon in Capricorn. So it's funny because I said I almost called this a new moon a bunch of times and I was feeling that new moon energy, but all of these cards, this never happens, are all full moons, all right? So that means full intensity, full on, and big energy that we're experiencing. Yeah. A tough cycle is ending, but it's going to require many to swallow their pride, to be vulnerable, but also to call upon your strength. And remember, the ability to be vulnerable is our greatest strength, or one of our greatest strengths. But being vulnerable is not the same as being weak. A lot of people mistake those two energies. All right, now we have nothing will come of this situation and bring love into the situation. Void of course moon and new moon in Aquarius, all right? And there may be themes rippling out that began or that came up to the surface during that new moon in Aquarius that are now kind of like coming full circle. All right, so think back to what was happening during the new moon a couple weeks ago as well. But this energy, with nothing will come of this situation, what it's really meaning is don't make a mountain out of a molehill. There are many people who are like over dramatizing a situation and it's not nearly as dire as it seems. You're making it into something worse than it is. And so like you're being called to just bring love to that situation. Literally visualize that. Pray for the highest and best resolution. Know that your worries, if you are sitting in a place of anxiety and worry, like your worries are, I don't want to say completely unfounded, but you're creating more of a dilemma than there actually is. The things that you fear are not necessarily the things that will come to pass. Although if you spend enough time obsessing and fretting over them, you can bring that, you can create that. But that's not necessarily the way that the situation's going to go. How can you elevate the situation with love? How can you be more loving to yourself, more compassionate toward yourself and the other people involved? Sometimes when we bring love into a situation, it's we're bringing faith in, right? Bring faith in where there is fear. Bring love in where there is hate, where there is frustration, resentment. And it's time to release negativity on the bottom of the deck. Another full moon card in Scorpio this time, all right? So, yeah, a lot of work with that energy of releasing. Full moons are a great energy for releasing. That's typically one of the things they're famous for. Harvest, it's that harvest time, the culmination energy. It's also great for releasing. So release your fears around a situation. Release any ill will that you have toward another. When you work on releasing your negativity, it's amazing how sometimes the negativity of the other person will dissolve. Not always. For some of you guys, where there was this energy where it felt like you were dealing with an abuser or a narcissist or somebody in a very toxic energy, just bringing love into the situation may not shift their energy all that much, but it will allow you to not get caught up in it. Not react to it and take that energy on to, like, internalize that. So releasing, getting rid of any toxic energy within the self in outer relationships and situations. Really just purging and releasing and letting go of all of that. All right, what else do we want to pull here? Yeah, I feel like I want to pull a couple angel answers cards to close for you guys. All right, clear. Give us a couple more cards, couple closing cards here for this full moon in Leo. Some closing guidance. For some of us, it's like learning how to love somebody who is very challenging to us. Learning how to accept people where they're at. So we have in the near future coming out. I felt like somebody might have a question. I should have said, think if you have a question, like hold that in your mind. But I feel like somebody's been holding it in their mind during this reading anyway. And so that's your answer, timing in the near future. But let's get some more energy here. And there are twin angels in that picture. So this could be a question, especially if it's involving like a divine counterpart. Or for some people, it's like your relationship to your guides and your angels. If you've been wondering if you're going to be able to start connecting with them better, then that answer resonates for that too. And if you were thinking of something, you had a question, and you just feel resonant, then that's the answer for you. It doesn't just have to be those two scenarios. Then we have be assertive coming out. And it's up to you. So what this recovery on the bottom of the deck here. So what this is, what this closing guidance here is telling me is, this is Spirit reminding you that you are the author of your own story, right? This is your life. You get to live it any way that you see fit. You are empowered. You are in charge. Make the choices, make the decisions that are best and right for you. For you and for anybody that relies on you, right? It's all up to you. There's not one way that things are going to go. Things are going to go the way that you decide. And that doesn't mean that you have control over other people's actions, right? But you have control over your reactions, and you have control over the amount of power that you allow them to have over you. You have control over the dominion that you allow them to have over your emotions, your thoughts, your energy. You get to choose the trajectory of your life. So this is Spirit saying, like, take the reins. And this is very much the energy of Aries, which we're going to be feeling really continuing to gain steam throughout 2023. This is a big energy that this year is all about. Taking charge, right? Really working with that masculine energy. Bringing that masculine energy up to a very divine, high frequency. And living from that place. Right? That place of empowered action. Divinely guided, empowered action. It's up to you. There is no outer force dictating what's going to happen in your life. You come here with free will. Yes, your soul has a plan. It has some stuff mapped out. But you have free will. You get to call the shots. You get to make the decisions. You can cancel out soul contracts. You can bring new ones online. Right? You can decide. Like, it's like when so many people ask, like, what is my purpose? That's up to you. What do you want to do? You get to choose. Everything that happens in your life from this moment on, right? You may have been unconsciously choosing in the past, but right now, from this moment on, making that commitment, knowing that everything in your life you get to choose. So what are you choosing? And remember, this empowerment starts with the acknowledgement that we chose what we're experiencing right now, right? I chose it and I love it. Love it fully for what it's taught you. And then if you don't like it, let it go and choose something new. All right? It's up to you. And meditation brings answers. Spirit always likes to remind us to meditate, that the answers are within you. And helpful people I just opened up to. So, clear. With the situation will improve on the bottom of the deck. And no. Setting those boundaries. So situations are going to improve, but we have to take the action to help, to facilitate that. And I saw helpful people. So for some people, there may be helpful people coming into your reality, but remember, you have to ask for that help. All right? Clear. You still have to take charge in that way. Like we said, don't let your pride get in the way. All right, this was a very interesting reading, you guys. I hope you have an incredible full moon. I love you. I appreciate you. There are links to donate down below if you feel so moved to do so. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Drop a comment down below. Share it with somebody if you think that somebody would enjoy the content here. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button. Hit the bell with the little squigglies so you do get all the notifications. And yeah, if you want to book a personal reading with me, tarot reading, chart reading, energy healing session, belief work session, anything along any of those lines, my information and my website are in the description box below. So go ahead and shoot me an email. You guys are incredible. I love you. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon.